In this section, we're going to talk a little bit about the sociological perspective. We use many different lenses through which to see our modern world. We use microscopes to see things that are too small to see with the naked eye. We use telescopes to see things that are too far away to see with the naked eye. And we use cameras to catch a moment in time. One of the things that I want to emphasize is that at the heart of the sociological discipline is a particular view that we refer to as the sociological perspective. And so I think one way of demonstrating that is to point out that, for sociology, often I use this pair of glasses. They help me read. They've got a little bit of a magnification and helps my old tired eyes. And sometimes if I need to see a little bit more clearly in a distance, I can just kind of look over the top. But for sociology, this is the particular lens that I use. But if I were thinking about the world from a psychological perspective, I would need a different pair of lenses. And so this particular set of lenses might be really, really good for driving outside in bright light, but it really doesn't help me with the tasks that I need to do or the situations that I might need to deal with as a sociologist. And so it's really important to know that different perspectives are used in different social sciences, but really they complement each other. It's not that one is right or one is wrong. And from my perspective, the best thing we can do is learn as many perspectives as possible and to learn them well so that we can apply them to social situations and social problems to make the world a better place. Okay, so the first aspect of the sociological perspective that I want to talk about is seeing the general in the particular. Seeing the general in the particular often deals with seeing things that we tend to take for granted, such as when we're driving on a highway and don't really think about the fact that everyone is driving on the right-hand side of the road in the United States. However, in England, it is just as taken for granted that individuals drive on the left side of the road. The second component of the sociological perspective is seeing the strange in the familiar. To illustrate this concept, let's take a look at an old Flintstones cartoon.
They sure work hard, don't they, Barney?
Yeah? I hate to see them work so hard.
Yeah, me too. Let's go around back where we can't see them.
Gee, we ought to do something, Fred.
Okay. How's about taking a nap?
Hey, I got a better idea. Let's take a Winston break.
That's it! Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston's got that filter blend.
Yeah, Fred. Filter blend makes the big taste difference, and only Winston has it up front where it counts. Here, ahead of the pure white filter. Winston packs rich tobaccos specially selected and specially processed for good flavor in filter smoking.
Yeah, Barney, Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should.
The Flintstones has been brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
To contrast the strange and the familiar, let's take a look at another cartoon.
Everybody picks on me. Nobody likes me. Well, you can't really blame them. You've killed and crippled millions of Americans. They didn't have to smoke. It was their choice. But you knew cigarettes were addictive and you lied about it. Oh, that was the old me. I'm into community service now. Have you seen my ads? Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Anything. This is the new me. Are you going to keep selling cigarettes? I said, are you going to... Just thought I'd ask.
Right, a third aspect of the sociological perspective is seeing society in everyday choices. And a good example of this is education. As society has become more technologically advanced, people generally have needed more education to acquire jobs that provide them with a higher standard of living. Many, many years ago, people could get by with just an 8th grade education. Society was primarily agrarian, and basically people needed to be able to add and subtract, multiply, and be able to read and write. But now you might think about even your individual choices and why you're taking this class at this time. Is it related to a particular goal that you're hoping to achieve? Is it part of also the social structure that is requiring more education to achieve that higher standard of living? Okay, the fourth aspect of the sociological perspective has a lot to do with marginality and crisis, and we can also think about that in terms of social oppression and disadvantage. And what that means is that in general, the more disadvantaged or oppressed an individual is, the more likely they are to see the social structures that impede one's ability to become more integrated with society. And so part of what that does is understanding the ways that social structures disadvantage and oppress certain groups of people also empowers us to make social changes that can facilitate a more just and egalitarian society.